Hello and welcome to Castle's Corner. I'm Coach Castle, and today we're talking about shoulder pain, also known as shoulder impingement syndrome or weightlifter's shoulder. So the name should probably tell you something about it. It's a very common issue among individuals who regularly engage in improper weightlifting activities, exercises which we have not evolved to do. So basically during weightlifting exercises, anything like overhead presses or high lateral raises, bench presses, these kinds of things, what happens essentially is that your upper arm bone, your humerus, is rotating and compressing the tendons and bursa and other structures in the shoulder. It's just kind of pinching them and crushing them and compressing them against the shoulder blade. Now, this compression can occur during movements that involve, like I said, raising the arm or the overhead press, lateral raises, the bench presses, any manner of movement such as like this. Now, there are several factors that can increase the risk of developing shoulder impingement in weightlifters. These things will include things like poor posture, muscle imbalances, weak rotator cuff muscles, not warming up properly, poor exercise, not stretching the muscles, improper weightlifting technique, poor movement patterns. Now, this strain leads to inflammation, irritation, and this ultimate impingement at the end of it to either the tendons or the bursa. So, over time, this repetitive movement with poor, let's just call them movement patterns, cause chronic pain, limited range of motion, and even structural damage to the shoulder joint, the clavicle, and the shoulder blade. So, long story short, guys, don't do movements we have not evolved to do. Things like overhead presses, incline bench presses, barbell movements such as this, handstand push-ups, these kinds of things, we have not evolved to do these. Also, if you don't regularly train your opposing muscle groups, such as making sure you properly train your traps as well as your pectorals, you'll be developing basically instability in the integrity of your structure. Now, biotensegrity is one of my favorite things to talk about, but not too much in this video other than saying that you want to make sure you're training opposing muscle groups properly. Now, it's important to understand what happens within the shoulder joint during different exercises, such as a lateral raise. So, during a lateral raise, when the arm is lifted sideways, a posterior view of the shoulder joint reveals to the shoulder abduction. This movement aims to avoid potential impingement of the epicrombion or the bursa, which can lead to inflammation and discomfort. Now, a key indicator of the supraspinatus tendonitis, a common shoulder condition, is experiencing pain in limited range of motion in the form of the painful arc between the 60 and 120 degrees of abduction. This condition can be exacerbated by external rotation, where the greater tubercle moves behind the epicrombion. Now, when performing lateral raises, it is important to be aware of any pain or discomfort. This is going to be literally depending on your individual body morphology and what you've done to yourself over the years. Now, a correct technique involves creating a scapular force couple between the upper trapezius, lower trapezius, and the serratus anterior muscles. What this means, in essence, is that the upward rotation of the scapula is just going to move out of the way during the arm abduction, and this way the supraspinatus muscle assists in initiating the movement, but can also contribute to the tendon impingement if it's not properly aligned. Now, in the resting position, with the arm at 90 degrees, the power generated by the dumbbell is directly transferred to the arm. This is starting with a mechanical disadvantage and ending with a mechanical advantage. This is the correct resistance curve, as most of you know who watch my videos, and this is how you should be performing a lateral raise. Now, you can do it elevated on one elbow or simply lying flat. The resistance curve is the same. However, you will never, ever have an issue with the actual shoulder impingement provided you do it like this. The reason for that is it's the correct resistance curve. It's what your bone and your body is supposed to do. Make sure when you're doing it, you are paying close attention to your elbow and lifting your pinky essentially towards the end of the movement. You should be concluding the movement when your upper arm bone or your humerus is actually parallel with your clavicle and your scapular ridge. Anything past there and you're starting to involve other muscle groups, and you can actually then be rubbing the upper arm bone essentially against the socket where the clavicle meets the shoulder ridge, the scapular ridge rather. Now, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do standing lateral raises anyways, as they're not efficient. And of course, most exercises that people do trying to target their so-called shoulder muscles or the deltoids have better alternatives. People doing overhead presses, handstand walks, handstand push-ups, incline bench presses, standing lateral raises. None of these are efficient muscles, but they're all attempting to target the deltoids, the front deltoid, the lateral deltoid, and the rear deltoid. Now I have lots of videos on this, but each one of those actually only has a single best movement pattern that it was designed to do. And if you do it inside of the correct resistance curve, the correct movement, you will never experience shoulder impingement syndrome, which is why I teach biomechanics and why I talk about this stuff, because bodybuilding is for everybody, not just bodybuilders. Bodybuilding is just building your body, being healthy, developing the tensegrity of your structure, balancing your body, becoming stronger, more mobile, more agile, which is always and should always be done in the best, most efficient possible way. So anyways, guys, I hope this helps with your actual shoulder problems. If anybody has any more questions or for any coaching, just email me at castleinprogress.com, and I have all my links in the description. I hope that you liked that video. I just wanted to remind you all, if you're able to and you support my work, please make sure that you like the video, you subscribe if you haven't already, you click the notification bell, and you share this video or leave a comment to help the algorithm. Every little bit helps, and I'm trying to get this information to as many people as is possible. And of course, if I can help you with any of your coaching needs, you need a running plan, you need a workout plan, you want to build mass, you want to lose weight, you want to do things correctly, you want a full education about your diet, your exercise, your respiratory health, supplements, and everything else, just contact me at castleinprogress.com or via my email, castleinprogress@gmail.com. If you don't want coaching directly, just check out my Etsy store. It's linked in the description of all of my videos. I have all of my many books, tools, and everything else there. Or finally, check out my Substack. It's linked in a lot of the videos as well. And it's free, a free newsletter where I share the latest science, advice, exercises, and everything else for free. So thank you as always for your support, everyone.